Hi guys, and welcome back to Old Southern Kitchen and Garden. A lot of the recipes that I've been doing lately are actually because I recently lost my mom. So I'm going through a bunch of recipes that she used to cook for us all the time, and this is something she would make that we all loved. She would make it as a way to utilize leftovers in the house. It's a potato hash or a poor man's stew. And basically what you would do is whatever protein you had left, you would cook it down with the potatoes and it makes a delicious meal. One of my best memories is waking up on a Sunday morning. Mom loved to cook a beef roast. We'd have a Sunday supper with beef roast all the time. And then the next day what she would do is take the leftover beef and make the poor man's stew with it. All you have to do is serve it with a French bread and it's a great meal. So what I've done so far is today I'm using, it's a Richard's green onion smoked sausage. Okay, so what I have here is Richard's green onion smoked sausage. That's the protein we're going to be using today. In the pan I have a little bit of olive oil and some butter melted into it. And we're going to slice rough chop one onion and throw that in there. Now what we're going to want to do is basically sweat out the onion and brown the sausage. You want the sausage to get brown bits on the bottom of the pot because that way it'll add more flavor to the potatoes when we eventually do add them. So we're going to let this cook down for just a little bit, and while that's happening we're going to get to cutting the potatoes. Right now we're using just a basic white potato for this recipe. Any potato you have will go. So the poor man's hash is basically something they used to cook during the Depression because potatoes were cheap. You don't even have to add protein. They wouldn't during the actual Depression. All they would do is potatoes, onions, and peppers because it was something that was available and cheap. But after the Depression, when they could afford some meats, they would always add some kind of protein just to give it a little more basically kick for your meal. So what we're going to do now is just cut the potatoes into just small chunks. You're just going to let them cook down and smother. Now we'll get all of these cut up while the veggies are rendering down some. And I'll be back with you in 1 minute, guys. Okay guys, we're back and the sausage is brown. The onions are sweated out really good. So at this point I'm going to want to add garlic. Now me and Dale love garlic, so we're going to add a lot. You don't have to add this much, just add however much garlic you like. But like I said, we are big garlic fans and we use quite a bit in pretty much everything we cook. And we're going to want that to cook for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Once you start smelling the garlic cooking, and then you're ready to add the rest of the ingredients. So we're going to let this cook down for like 30 seconds, and while that's happening, I'm going to add some seasoning. I'm going to add a little salt. I'm going light on the salt for two reasons. One is because I'm going to add some Tony's, which we add to everything for a little spice, and it has an extreme amount of salt. And then secondly, what we're cooking the potatoes down in is chicken broth. We're actually using the Knorr bouillon because that's what we had on hand today. And that also has a lot of salt. So you don't want to add too much additional salt to the pan. So now we have the garlic smelling wonderful in here. And as you saw, I added a lot of the garlic juice in it also. And so now we're going to just add the potatoes. This is where you can get inventive. You don't have to use just potatoes. You can throw in carrots. You can throw in basically any kind of root vegetable that'll cook at the same rate as potato. For us, we're just doing potatoes, onions, and bell pepper along with the sausage, which is going to be perfect for lunch today and dinner tonight. So now that we have all the potatoes in, we're just going to give it a mix. Get the potatoes coated in all those juices. And of course, we have to add some red pepper flakes because we added to pretty much everything. Can't wait till the garden's producing our red pepper so we can actually dry our own. And then I'm going to add a pat of butter because potatoes and butter are a perfect combination. And this is the chicken broth. I just melted it down in 2 cups of water, which I'm going to add to the potatoes. I'm going to stir them around a little bit. And that's pretty much it. I do have a little extra water in case you need some. I just want a little bit more so that the potatoes are covered. We're going to cover that, let it come to a boil. And once it does, we'll reduce the heat to a medium simmer. Let them cook for 20 to 30 minutes until the potatoes are extremely soft. And then we'll get back and I'll show you how to finish it off. Guys, I've let the hash cook for right at 30 minutes. The potatoes are nice and soft. Now if you wanted, you can add more liquid, which would make it more of a stew. We do that a lot more in the winter time so that we can warm up. So let's just serve a little bowl of this. That way you can see the actual finished product. Nice soft potatoes. The starch in the potatoes make an extremely thick coating on the sausage and everything else. It's a perfect meal, whether it's hot or cold, a comforting meal that's going to have me thinking of Mom all day long. And there you have it. So we have a nice potato hash or stew. We're going to serve it with some fresh toasted French bread, and it's going to be a great afternoon. So if you have any recipes that remind you of your relatives, past, present, why don't you drop us a line in the comments and let us know what meals that you prepare whenever you're thinking of family. And as always, please like the page, share the video so that we can get more likes and subscribers. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks, guys.